No problem. Thank you, Alicia. Next, Nicole Marafiotti, our marketing director. Feel free to come off mute, Nicole.
Welcome, everybody. Nice to meet everyone and have you on the call. I echo what Alicia was saying. We really feel like we are getting momentum on Project 5. We've been at it for 2 years, which we'll be talking about. We kind of worked out the kinks, and now we're ready to really go full board on this and take it to the next level. So we'll be hearing a lot about that today. And again, I'm excited to have you here.
Awesome. Thank you, Nicole. Has Art Holiday made the call yet? May not have. Is Carol, have you made it on the call yet? Feel free.
I'm here. Hi, everyone. I'm Carol Fowler. I'm Director of Content, which means I'm a leader in the newsroom and have a really close working relationship with Nicole and her team in marketing in serving the community. That's what we're about. And we do it through storytelling and through service and in all sorts of ways. And to her point, we're looking to expand that. So looking forward to the conversation over this noon hour. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Carol. And again, I'm Chris Randall, Community Impact Manager. I've been with the station for 3 years as of August. And I helped to conceptualize Project 5 2.5 years ago, and we'll talk a little bit more about the background and history, but I just have a passion for service and serving other people, just like everybody else here on this call. And so let's just get into it. Thank you. Thank you for showing up. Okay. Our mission here at 5 on Your Side is that we stand up for St. Louis. We are committed to enriching lives by creating real, original stories that celebrate the people and the traditions of the remarkable community that we serve. And we do that in so many different ways. And it's not just what you would think you would see on television or maybe what you would see on our website, but we do it through impactful ways, like serving with the Muscular Dystrophy Association. We helped raise almost $500,000. What was our number, Alicia?
It was over $400,000 in a 2-hour time span on Sunday of Labor Day weekend. It was just so gratifying. Mike Bush is crying tears of joy. It was incredibly impactful to be there and watch all of St. Louis come together and rally for these kids. It was awesome.
Absolutely. Thank you for the backup, Alicia. So we serve through Coleman. We serve through meaningful relationships and partnerships throughout the community and with nonprofit organizations throughout the community. And this is this Project 5 is really just an opportunity for us to serve in an even more impactful way with organizations that are selected, and just how we can really get down and get our boots in the mud and work shoulder to shoulder with the great people that make St. Louis the great community that it is. So what is Project 5? All these smiling faces and this blue stuff. Why are we here? What are we talking about? Let's get into it. So for background, the image that you're seeing is the initial possible partner meeting that we had, similar to what you're experiencing here today. We invited out organizations that we've worked with before, that we've worked with in the past, that we know that could achieve doing a project of this magnitude back in 2019. And so our goal is to unite St. Louis. And so we met with city leaders to determine how we can best affect the community in a positive way. Through these meetings, we identified organizations that had big needs, and that's how the idea of Project 5 was born. We invited these organizations to develop need proposals, and those proposals were vetted through an external advisory committee, and 5 projects were chosen. The final projects chosen were chosen due to their sustainability, their volunteer opportunities, and the ability to be completed on a short timetable. And so that's kind of what you're seeing. That was our initial conception meeting right there. through all of the work that we were able to do, we developed this mission on what Project 5 is. And our mission is that we're surrounded by motivated, driven, passionate people trying to make a difference in this world. 5 on Your Side is committed to partnering with the St. Louis community to make a positive impact. Project 5 will provide resources to eligible 501c3 organizations and empower them to take action to have an effect on the areas in which they reside. Through our storytelling platforms, 5 on Your Side and Project 5 will address the most important needs or issues that each community faces through the eyes of the community advocates. That last portion is very key. We don't want to come in and try to be a savior to whatever situation that you're going through or whatever issues that exist. That's not our purpose. You all, everyone on this call is already doing the amazing work to make St. Louis a better place. We want to empower you to be able to make a difference and to make a larger, more substantial impact in whatever way possible. So whether that's through resources that we can provide or whether that's through the storytelling and the awareness, we want to lift and use the megaphone of our station to help lift you up and make your impact greater. So next, we're going to watch a little video. It's going to show a little bit about Project 5 and some of the work that we've done. Just want to make sure that you all are able to hear it. Let's everybody cross your fingers for everything goes well with the tech, okay? You know how it is.
Let me ask you something. What is...
Nothing, no sound. Oh no.
It's got the sound, but it's glitching.
It's glitching.
Let me try. Why don't you stop share?
Okay, here.
So I've got the powerful internet here at the hub.
There
You
you
need the base.
You need the base. Here, I'm going to allow for sharing. Where's my participant screen? Here we go. Got some more people to come in. More.
Host is disabled sharing.
Yeah. Okay, you should be able to share now.
All right, got it. All right.
Let me ask you something. What is your mission? Is it to empower kids? Is it to feed your community? Maybe it's as simple as checking in on your elderly neighbors. Whatever your mission is, it drives you, and it drives us. Your mission is our guiding light. You are the heroes and helpers making St. Louis better today than it was yesterday. You are putting in the long hours doing work that's often thankless, and we couldn't be prouder of what you're doing for St. Louis. People often say watching the news is depressing, that we don't cover the wonderful, uplifting things happening in our community. We're changing that.
5 on Your Side's Chris Randall, who's normally behind the scenes. Well, he's joining us live, and we're going to be working together to help turn this location around and really make a difference in the St. Louis County neighborhood.
Project 5 is a partnership with you. Together, we're going to show St. Louis what's possible when the community comes together with a common goal. It's about telling positive stories. It's about bringing people together. It's about making positive changes one step at a time.
When you are able to provide a safe space for people, they will come.
With every swipe of a paintbrush, every pull of a weed, and every dig of a shovel, we're making our mark on our community. We're ready for our mission. Are you ready? Project 5.
And we just want to thank Brian Spencer and the entire marketing team that put that together. That video is amazing, and to make sure that you are able to enjoy it in all its splendor, I'm sharing a link to that YouTube, so you can watch that on your own time and you'll be able to enjoy that in its full clarity. But thank you, Brian, and thank you, Nicole, for the backup. And with that being said, I'd like to introduce Justina Cornell, who's our reporter, our Project 5 participant, and she's just going to share a little bit about her experience with Project 5 thus far over the years and just some good notes. So Justina, it's all you. Take it away.
If y'all don't know me, I'm a news reporter here at Channel 5, and basically just overall my involvement right away when I heard about Project 5, I think a lot of us here genuinely want to make a difference in our community. We became journalists to really tell stories and be a voice for those who may not have a voice. And so when we heard about Project 5, I think instantly a lot of us jumped on board because it's not just about talking the talk. We actually can walk the walk. We can go to these events physically, do the work, pull out the weeds, paint and make a difference. And I think it really just is amazing how we can literally be hands-on with this experience. I think the promo says it best, but we also hear a lot that we are a lot of doom and gloom. And the reality is we have to obviously air certain stories, but I think we have so much good in our community. We have so much amazing things that are happening, especially during this pandemic. I mean, we, could have shut down so many organizations, so many projects, and yet y'all thrived. Y'all did amazing. And I think it is crucial to highlight that. And if anything, this is, I think Project 5 is a really great concept that can give exposure to something that y'all are already doing the work. We're just here to highlight it. And I think it's essential what everyone is doing. But I think with our involvement, I think it can help give us, more eyes, more hands on deck. And I do a series called A Way Forward, which is under the Project 5 umbrella, where we highlight 2 organizations that are doing amazing work in our community, and kind of do a call to action to our community to step up and kind of pay it forward. And so if anyone's interested, let me know. But I think, we've noticed, even like we did our first one with Big Brothers Big Sisters, and they said they had so many applicants call wanting to be a part of, be a part of Big Brothers Big Sisters. I just think it shows that, it's important to, bring a voice for everyone. And I think it's important. I think people realize what y'all are doing, but I don't think they know how to connect. I don't think they know how to reach out. I know it seems very simple, but I think people just like to know, like, give me all the information and we would love to connect with y'all. So I think again, Project 5 is something that is really doing great stuff in our community. We just want to highlight already the amazing work that the organizations are doing. But yeah, overall, my involvement, it has been great to know that I'm a part of something that we are trying to make a difference, and we are just trying to help. So if anyone has questions, let me know. I have to hop off because I have to be on a show at 4:00, but I really am thankful for your time. But of course, if you need to reach out, feel free to.
Thank you, Justina. We appreciate your words and your insight and your hard work. So I had you pulling weeds in the video over at Wesley House. And speaking of Wesley House, I'd like to introduce John Saunders here. I'm going to share my screen again. Of the Wesley House, our Project 5 2019 lead. So John, feel free to unmute and take it away.
Well, Chris, thank you first of all for inviting me to be part of this this call, and hello to everyone that's on the call, our fellow community project members, and congratulations to you all for the work that you do in the community. One of the things that Chris and I really touch base on is that Chris and I both are alumni of Wesley House. That will give you an idea of how many years this organization has been serving this community. I will just say that the building has been here since 1955, and I'm a little bit older than Chris, so I came to Wesley House through the summer camp program in the late 60s and early 70s. and to be able to come back and be the executive director, it'll be 3 years in January, is truly a blessing. And, you know, I must say that the Project 5, not only funding, but support of the staff and the team was very instrumental in Wesley House acquiring some new playground equipment. And this was back in the summer of 2019, pre-COVID. And one of the things that we wanted to accomplish was, well, two things, was to give a visual external image that Wesley House was still in business and doing quite a few things. And we also wanted to allow our kids to be kids. And what I mean by that is that the playground equipment that was here, I believe was here when I came here, okay? So that just kind of gives you an idea of how old that equipment was. And Chris and I talked about it and being able to have that external visibility that even though it was some playground equipment right here on the corner of our parking lot, it provided a visual image of Wesley House was still in business, starting new things, and getting some new relationships off the ground. So I do appreciate the support that Project 5 provided for that project, and also in the spirit of what Wesley House is all about, we worked with Dream Builders for Equity. I see Michael is on the call. They actually helped install that equipment, did some painting, all those types of things. So, you know, it did not end there because the coverage, it spurned some additional interest and involvement from Wesley House alumni, which we received a number of different donations from former members. We have 2 of those persons actually have become members of our board of directors, and others have volunteered with the organization. So when you talk about the good work that Project 5 is doing in the community, that is something that was maybe small in the beginning, but it has flourished and it has continued to allow us to grow, expand our partnerships, expand our funding relationships, and expand our programs and services. Now, you know, we all know that COVID hit us all very hard, but, you know, I've kind of told people that COVID has been a curse and a blessing for Wesley House. The curse is that we're located in the 63115 zip code, one of the hardest hit areas that had COVID cases in the beginning. However, we were very instrumental in providing additional information about the disease, how people can get tested. We also provided drive-through food pantry distributions. I think it was about 6 events over the course of the summer 2020. So it was, like I said, it was a curse because our community was impacted, but it also spurred us to do more. We actually added virtual and remote programming options, not only for our youth, but also for our senior citizens as well. We have approximately 30 senior citizens that have been trained on using laptops. They have email addresses. They are doing telemed programs through a partnership with St. Louis U. And now we're looking to open a state-of-the-art technology center here in Wesley House to do after-school summer camp and also some workforce readiness for families. So, you know, excuse me for the long-windedness, but we are very thankful for Project 5 for really unofficially kicking off Wesley House's community exposure, partnership, and impact program. So, Chris, thank you again. Appreciate Project 5 and all the work that you're doing in the community. And on behalf of Wesley House, I want to thank you again for the financial support, the volunteers, and also the media exposure that we've received out of this relationship.
Thank you, John. Appreciate it so much for that. Thank you for your leadership. Next, I would like to introduce Keenan Morrison of The Village. which is a youth mentoring program based out of North St. Louis. So Keenan, go ahead and feel free to take the mic.
Hello, Chris. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
How you doing? Hello, everybody. My name is Keenan Morris, and I'm the founder and CEO of The Village. The Village is a community service organization, but the heart and soul of what we do is we mentor young Black males ages 6 to 18 all over St. Louis City and County. Through this program, we have been able to increase our numbers significantly. With Chris's help and Five on Your Side, just getting the awareness out that a solution to what you see going on in the St. Louis community is available. And we increased enrollment, we've increased volunteership, we've increased donations, we've been able to increase volunteer participation because of Project 5, and we are incredibly happy to be a part of the solution, and especially the merit and respect that comes with your partnership.
Thank you so much, Kanan. Love the work and respect the work that you do with the young men in your program. You know, me and Kanan are like-minded spirits, so I really appreciate everything that he does. And for all of you who may not be aware of Mr. Kanan Morrison, please go look up the Village STL and see all of the great work that he is doing with those young men.
thevillage314.com. Thank you, Chris, for your time.
No problem. Thank you, Keenan. Next, I'd like to introduce Mike Woods from Dream Builders for Equity. He's a Project 5 2022 lead. And he's a man of St. Louis. You can see him on a billboard if you look hard enough. Go ahead, Mike. Take it from here.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Chris. First, I want to say a huge salute to John and Keenan. These are people that I look up to and really admire the work that they are doing. So I'm even happy to just be amongst such an amazing group. I think Project 5 has done a great job of selecting people who are really creating real impact throughout the St. Louis region. And then I'll also give a quick overview of what we do for Dream Builders. So with Dream Builders, our goal is to transform North St. Louis City, but doing it by hiring high school age youth and minority contractors to complete rehabs. And then we sell those homes to first-time homeowners. Those high school youth are getting $15 an hour as they are working with us, but they are also receiving equity in those properties. So every time we sell a home, portions of that sale go directly to our young people in scholarship form. So this is why I was so excited to be a part of this project, because this project allowed us to complete one more project over in the Hyde Park neighborhood. It was a Randall Place project. Now, this house was about 1,300 square feet, and it will actually be sold to a first-time homeowner. And we wouldn't have been able to get this work done without Chris and Project 5. So not only were we able to employ 50 young people to work on this project, but we were also able to have a 90% participation from minority contractors. And then the visibility of Project 5 allowed us to actually bring in more revenue to get this project done. And then also, we had a great deal of volunteers. We had a great deal of people making inquiries about getting their young people involved into the Dream Builders program. So all I can say is that this has been a huge shift in our organization. Channel 5 in general has just been a huge blessing to Dream Builders. We are a smaller nonprofit. We don't have like a super strong board, but when we're able to get on this platform, when we're able to participate with Chris, when we're able to participate with the Channel 5 network, it gives us that credibility and also displays our professionalism as an organization. And for younger orgs, we need that stamp. We need that stamp that Chris gives us. We need that stamp that the Channel 5 network gives us. And that allows for other folks to really see our mission, really hear what we're doing. But because we know that if you get a chance to experience our work, you will get behind it, you will support it. but you have to see it first. So thank you, Chris, for giving us that opportunity.
Thank you, Mike. And lastly, we'll have Chris Trahan from Family Forward, who's a Project 5 lead in 2021. And Chris, feel free to take the mic and go from here.
Let me share my video. There we go. Thanks for including us. I can speak real briefly about services that we provide and also the project that KSDK helped us out with, because it just happened, 3 weeks ago, I think, on September 11th. So it was a pretty amazing day. Family Forward basically treats and prevents child abuse. We have a developmental trauma center which helps children who have been through severe abuse and neglect. We also help families. We also have a department that helps women who have been in abusive relationships. We provide financial education so that they can remove themselves from those situations. And what we have found out is that women in that situation sometimes don't have the financial need to stay away, so they will have to return. So we are helping prevent that from happening. And we also offer community services and foster care services throughout St. Louis and the St. Louis area. I wanted to talk real briefly about the project that we just wrapped up. We are at our location, one of our locations here in South St. Louis on South Kings Highway. We had an empty lot that has been sitting there for years and years and years, and there was nothing really on that lot. And so we had therapists from our therapy department reach out to KSDK, found out about this Project 5 on Your Side opportunity. And so what we've done with that, with the help from KSDK, is develop that side lot that's next to our office building into a therapeutic garden. And so we have, as I mentioned, we have a pre-K service where we help children who have been abused and neglected, who are, preschool age. And so what we wanted to do was turn that lot into a garden that can be used by everyone, really. But we selected plants that have therapeutic value, like lavender for smell, and we have black-eyed Susans for color. We've got wind chimes. We've got walking paths. So I can explain the day of the event. We got here early. The volunteers got here early. Chris got here early, and we knocked that project out in 5 hours. And it was a pretty amazing transformation. We had staff from KSDK, and we had staff from a local construction company, Alvarez, come out and help with this project transformation. And I can tell you that we are getting positive feedback from staff. We're getting positive feedback from our donors. It's just a great way to spread the message and to tell a good story and get everyone involved. And, we would definitely do this again because of the flexibility that and the working relationship with Chris. So can't speak any more highly than I am, but probably not doing justice of the work that everyone did to coming out for this project. So we appreciate it.
Thank you, Chris. Really appreciate it. All right. If everybody's not feeling the feels by now, you let me know. Really excited about now to share how you can become one of the voices that we just heard. Okay. So we're going to go through what Project 5, how a Project 5 will be executed, how you can apply, and what all of that entails. All right. So the plan, upon selection, projects will be given a start date and have about 60 days to complete their project. Through authentic storytelling, 5 on Your Side will do in-depth reporting on the details of each project and its impact on the members of the community. 5-year site community fund, a component of the St. Louis Community Foundation, will be able to help to collect donations that support Project 5 initiatives. All donations will go directly to the 5 years to the chosen nonprofit partners, so they can complete their projects. Each project donation will be capped at $10,000. So the Tegna Foundation, which some of you may be familiar with, is the battery. It's what powers these 5-year side these Project 5 projects. We execute we fund all of these projects through the Techno Foundation, and that is what allows us to provide those resources to you all. So next, so project examples. So we want to address specific issues or concerns that your organization may need. So maybe if a neighborhood doesn't have a safe area for kids to play, maybe there could be an installation of a playground or a refurbishment project of a playground. Maybe the relationship between police officers and the community may be in need of strengthening. There could be the establishment of a program or a reestablishment of a program to maintain trust, a program where officers could read to kids, or maybe a new PAL program. There's some type of there's derelict buildings that may plague a neighborhood. Maybe there needs to be some type of neighborhood demolition or cleanup project. Maybe there's a school or a classroom that is in need of disrepair, classroom makeover or redesign. These are all examples of projects. Family Forward, they had a plot of land that they needed some, a boost to get up and going, get some type of sensory garden going. So they made a plan, they laid out the plan, they created details, had all the permissions, and was able to make that come to fruition. So these are all just ideas of what that physical project, that service project day could include. Going back to this project time. So the service project is just one day of this entire experience. The other piece to it is that we want to establish in-depth storytelling about the issues that your organization maybe is helping to address. So the issue of maybe youth violence exists, right? And we want to go into depth speaking on what youth violence and why that affects our community, or why that affects St. Louis. And then we want to we'll do stories speaking to the organization that's addressing these issues. So we'll have, if youth violence is an issue, maybe there's Dream Builders for Equity, who's helping to address the youth and employ them and empower them and provide mentorship. The stories will be on how these organizations are making a great impact on these issues. And then the tie-in to all of that is the service project, where our staff members and members of the community are able to come together to help do something great for your organization. So it's kind of like 3 prongs, and put it all together. And that's what, makes a Project 5 project. So that's what we're looking at. And that's what we're looking to achieve with each Project 5 initiative. So the timeline. As of today, the application portal is open. And so you're able to go in and submit an application. The application portal will be open all the way until January 5th of 2022. Okay. Gives you from now, today, through January 5th to think of a project, think of something that you really want to do. Maybe like, man, if we had an extra $10,000, we'd we build a new playground out there, or we fix this swimming pool that's been in the back of our building for so many years, and we just if I had 10,000, we could fix that up. Maybe we get some volunteers in here. So it's kind of like a wish list of just what you would think that if you had 10,000 laid around, you can help to fix that. Or maybe there'll be a kickstart to help bring in some other funding to make something happen for your organization. So you got from now until January 5th to put together a proposal, and submit your application through the portal. And we'll go through the portal here in a second. January of 2022, I'm sorry, it's supposed to be a 2, not a 21. The selection committee will receive applications via email. February, the selection committee will meet and decide on what organizations will be selected for Project 5. And again, the selection committee is external. So it's not just 5 on your side. We're asking community stakeholders to come and be a part of making these decisions. In March, project participants will be notified who was selected and submitted for Tegna Foundation funding. And then June 1st, our first project will begin, and we'll execute those projects through the summertime and until completion, until we have all of the selected projects completed. So I'm going to take you through the portal real quick so you can see exactly what this looks like. Stop my share. Okay, I'm going to do a new share. So everybody see this Project 5 grant application? Does it look funny? Okay. So I'm going to put this link in the chat, but when you open up this link, this is what you will see. So at the top, there is a Tegna Foundation PDF that you will need to open, and you will need to complete that. You will need to type into it, or you can handwrite it, but you're going to need to also scan it and put it and make it a PDF file so you can submit it later in the application. Okay. Everything is pretty straightforward. And, we have a lot of nonprofit professionals, and I know what it's like to lead a nonprofit. Fill out a lot of applications. So it's nothing out of the ordinary. The legal name of your nonprofit, your address, city, state, zip code, the email, the main email to who will be the point of contact for your organization, the authorized contact person. So this will be the Project 5 lead point person. Understand you might have a development person that's responsible for funding. You might have your executive director, your CEO. We need one person that is going to basically keep and maintain communication with all of those different people. We're not going to send emails to all of the separate people with each. Now we'll correspond as necessary, but your main point of contact should be is the person that will be listed here. The title of the person that will be the main point of contact, their phone number, fax number, if possible, type of organization that you are. So you make it soft generalization, youth mentorship, mental health, etc. The year your organization was founded, the total current operating budget. Have you received Tegna Foundation funding in the past? So if you have applied for the Tegna Foundation grant here with the station before, whether you were approved or not approved for that funding, you need to place that yes or no. And obviously, if yes, what amount and what year? Is your organization tax exempt under 501c3? If you answer no to the question above, make sure your organization is your organization part of a municipality, public school system, city recreation department, county council on aging, mental health, etc. This all is key in the application for your funding. So please check accordingly. So the total project costs. Now, if you are approved for funding, you'll be approved for funding for $10,000 through the Tegna Foundation. But let's say, let's talk about Dream Builders for Equity project. Their total project was not funded solely by Five on Your Side and the Tegna Foundation. That entire project did not cost $10,000. That entire project, I'm sure, was maybe close to $100,000. They had funding from other places, and just so the overall total budget of your project is what we're looking for in that space. So all of the funding doesn't necessarily have to come from Five on Your Side. We might be able to plug into a larger project that you have going on. During our first year, our inaugural year, we did a project with Lift for Life Academy, where they were establishing their elementary school. And, we didn't fund an entire elementary school. They had their funders, they had private donors, and we helped bring that project to completion, to existence. So we fed into that project. So it's just something to be mindful of. Don't expect is okay, because we know that $10,000 isn't a whole lot of money, but it's an impact, and it's a way for us to be able to make a monetary commitment, as well as commitment via storytelling and our volunteerism. What neighborhood does your project serve? We want to affect the neighborhoods that need our help the most. We understand that equine therapy is important for those who are in need of it. But with Project 5, we really want to touch and make an impact on those communities that are hardest hit in St. Louis. And that is why we exactly want to know what neighborhood in the region is your community, is your project planning to serve, and the zip code of that neighborhood. The preferred project time, we said spring, summer. All these projects will be executed in the summertime, but if you know that you have a large scale project happening in August or something, feel free to input when would be the best ideal time for your project to happen. Does this program serve women primarily? Again, these are all questions that are needed for Tegna Grant Foundation funding as well. Does the program serve primarily racial, ethnic minorities? Does your organization or its chapters or affiliates have a written policy of discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation and or gender identity? These are all questions that are needed for the application to the Tegna Foundation. What geographic area is served? Again, specific neighborhood. What are the sources of the other funds do you have to support your project? So if you have other funding from maybe another foundation or another organization, or just maybe it's coming from your general funding, just trying to identify where all the funding is going to be, and will this be able to happen in a timely manner? Also, if you're getting volunteer help, or you're getting some resources help from other organizations like Family Forward, they had Alberici come in, construction, and come in and do the labor, and they help provide some monetary assistance. These are all, again, that helps motivate us. Okay, well, we have other community buy-in, we can buy in as well. It helps our team be able to make a great decision. So then you upload a copy of the signed PDF, the Tegna Grant application. There is another link. So there's a link for the application at the top, and there's a link for that application right here where it is needed. And I put it in there twice because people often just overlook it for whatever reason. People are people, we're humans. And so if you don't see it at the top, you get to see it right here again. If you could click on it, print it off, or type into that PDF. You're going to upload a copy of your 3-page you're going to upload a PDF copy of your organization's 501c3 tax exempt letter. And you're going to scan and upload a PDF copy of your 3-page project proposal summary. So at the bottom, that is the outline, the 3-page project summary that you will need. And it outlines everything out, the objectives of the project to be funded, whether projects are new or ongoing, the constituency to be served, so the total number of people who will be served, community and volunteer involvement for the project, 1-page project budget, 1-page summary for the organizational budget, organization's qualifications to carry out the project within a specific time frame. So if you say you want to build a new building in the back of your building, you're going to say we're going to do it all by volunteer help. That doesn't sound like it's feasible if nobody there is construction workers, right? So just can the project actually be executed by the volunteer component? That's what we're asking right there. A list of other funding sources, in-kind gifts committed or applied for, written permissions, including signatures from property owners granting access to use the property for the project's purposes. So all of this needs to be compiled and uploaded to your application through this portal. And at the end of it, simply click submit. Okay. Are we having fun yet? I hope we are. I know I am.
There's a question in the chat that perhaps you want to address it. Sarah Chandler asked, does that mean that we cannot do projects in St. Charles County? I think we're fine to do projects in St. Charles County, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, anywhere in our DMA. So
All
Sarah,
right.
please consider applying.
Okay. Going to share my screen one more time. It's the last time, I promise. So this is the link. I'm going to share this in the chat. I promise I will. Just give me a second. I'm trying to do everything myself right now. But upon applying, selection committee, external committee will read and discuss all the submissions for project 5, and the committee will select the projects that will be supported. Again, selection considerations, feasibility of the project completion within the timeline, the impact on the community, the amount of community involvement and or volunteer opportunities, the continued maintenance required to sustain the project in the future, and the tangible outcomes of the project. All right, what we cannot fund. Grants will not be considered for the following purposes: individuals, private foundations, organizations not determined by the IRS to be tax exempt, public charity under 501c3, organizations classified by the IRS as a 509A3, national or regional organizations unless their programs address specific local community needs, programs or initiatives where the primary purpose is the promotion of religious doctrine or tenets, elementary or secondary schools, except to provide special initiatives or programs not provided by regular school budgets, political action or legislative advocacy groups, multiple year pledge campaigns, organizations located in or benefiting nations other than the United States and its territories, fraternal groups, athletic teams, bands, volunteer firefighters, or similar groups. So, and these are all what cannot be funded by the Tegna Foundation, as stated by the Tegna Foundation. For context, Tegna Foundation is the charitable entity of Tegna, which is our parent organization. It's our corporate. It's the organization that owns 5 on Your Side, owns our station. They have 62, I believe, stations nationwide, and they help to provide this funding to nonprofit organizations in all the areas that the stations that they own provide. So, yes. With that being said, are there any questions? And the floor is open. Feel free to come off mute and ask as many questions as your heart desires.
Chris, I think I saw in one place that, and hello to everyone. So such an honor to be here. I feel the energy, want to be with the Wesley House and all the other folks because the energy is real. And I've been tracking these projects for a while. So kudos for pulling this all together and getting so many amazing orgs in the room. But I saw someplace I thought where it said 60 days. You had 60 days to execute the project. And then that other slide said 30 to 35. So I just wanted to qualify the timeline to execute the project itself.
We're going to say 30 to 60 days. 30 to 60 days to be able to execute the project. Any other questions? Feel free to come off mute.
I have a question.
Hello.
Hi, this is Shimara Sami from Gateway Human Trafficking. First, thank you so much for doing this amazing work. And I would like to know that, are you also able to help us raise awareness about the cause if you would like to make some PSAs about the cause of organization and then help your stations to just increase more awareness about the issue in our area? For example, our job is raise awareness about human trafficking concerning St. Louis area. And we see that as a result of post-COVID pandemic and then post-COVID, we see more children are coming out concerning the crime. So we really need to raise more awareness for the community about the situation. So if we, for example, apply to make 4 PSAs about human trafficking in the greater St. Louis area, then is it going to be possible to have 5 on your side or channels to just broadcast the videos in the area so that more people can learn about the problem in our area? Thank you.
So just to make sure I'm receiving your question the right way, you're saying if your project is to create PSAs, you're asking if these PSAs were created, would they be able to be aired on our airwaves? I don't have the exact answer for you right now. What I would say is if that is if that is the project that your organization is choosing to select and choosing to follow through, it will be up to the selection committee to make the decision on if that will be the thing that is the issue that is most necessary, and that proposal is better than the other project proposals that are submitted. So it's like if you win, then maybe that's a possibility.
Yeah, and Chris, I would go ahead and submit the application. It might not be a great Project 5 because Project 5 does require the volunteer, the visual storytelling of scene beginning to end, but it might qualify for a way forward or another news story that we cover. So I would say continue to submit it and maybe just call that right out that, I don't have a tangible project, but would love to do the awareness and the storytelling elements of it, if that helps.
Thank you, Shima. Appreciate it. We have a question from the chat from Joy. She asks, is it possible for an organization to be too big for this opportunity? I would say yes. I would say we really want to focus on the underdog. We want to focus on small nonprofits where $10,000 would make a significant impact. There's some organizations that, not saying that they don't need it. All nonprofits need it. Every nonprofit is searching for money. I get it. I lead a nonprofit. I helped lead a nonprofit myself, so I know the struggle. But there are some nonprofits that are just a little bit larger, a little too large for this opportunity. And I'd say, just example, United Way. United Way has a strong, significant infrastructure to be able to execute large scale. They receive millions and millions and millions of dollars. An organization of that magnitude wouldn't really benefit from a Project 5 opportunity. But a Dream Builders for Equity would, if that makes sense.
So basically small organizations maybe that make big impact.
Just like all the best, greatest small organizations do.
I think it's totally the sweet spot for this particular Project 5. And I will just say that we've had the pleasure of working with the Foster and Adoptive Care Coalition since September 11th of 2001. As an example, no one had heard of Foster and Adoptive Care Coalition at that time. And over the years, it has been a huge project of ours. And now I think they're a fairly well-known organization. That brings us joy. That really fires us up. But I think the sweet spot, as Chris said, to reiterate one more time, is to give a voice to those organizations that most people haven't heard of. Because as you heard from John Saunders, it wasn't just this one-time blip. There wasn't this one-time story. It was simply a catalyst for more visibility, for reconnecting with those alums at the Wesley House. As just that one example, we want this, like our dream, and Chris, I'm going to speak for you because we talked about this when we hired you. Our dream is to make this a movement, and that over time, it isn't just 4 organizations every year. It's 4 organizations in 19, 4 organizations in 2020. We have another 4 that we impacted this year, and the list keeps going on and on, so that people in St. Louis are not just impacted, but they raise their hand and they say, I want to be a part of it. And I want to volunteer. And I'm a terrible painter as one example, but I have come to donate my services, which are not worth a whole lot, to paint some of these needed organizations. Because it makes me feel like I'm also, a part of this quote unquote movement.
Okay, we have another question in the chat. It says, can a recently initiated project be considered for funding? The project start date is November 1st, 2021. I would say yes, absolutely. Going back to one of our original projects that we had with Live for Life Academy, they were already planning to build an addition to their school. And so we were able to help bring them to the closing line, to the finish line.
Chris, one thing that I'll say to you and to Alicia's comment is that the exposure and visibility that we received through our partnership with Project 5 and ongoing coverage since that time has been invaluable. Because again, I will say it has put Wesley House back on the map as an entity to be reckoned with right here on this very small corner at Lee and Taylor in 63115. So yes, the funding was very instrumental in the playground erection of the new playground equipment. However, the visibility, and I think we've had 2 stories done on some initiatives that we've started since that time. So that relationship started with the playground equipment funding. So it has continued since that time. So yes, we all as nonprofits, we all need funding. However, sometimes the exposure and the visibility for what we are doing is immeasurable as well. I mean, one example is that, we were fortunate to be blessed with a pretty decent donation from a Wesley House alum as a result of them seeing a Wesley House story on Channel 5. So it's a way to, of course, yes, like I said, the funds are fine, but the relationship, the partnership, the visibility and exposure is just as valuable in other ways as well.
Thank you, John. Have another question about from the chat, which speaks to a residential foster care program that is housed in Webster Groves, but they help to serve youth from all over the region. What I would say is that maybe there could be a possibility of establishing some type of impact point that is located in a zip code that is most underserved, that probably would need the most help. I would encourage everybody here to be imaginative and really sky's the limit with how you foresee how you would make an impact on these communities and areas that are hardest hit, because we want to bring light to these neighborhoods too. There's a great organization. There's a great organization in Creve Coeur that does great stuff for people all over these communities, but cameras make it to Creve Coeur all the time. Our cameras make it to Webster Groves all the time. So you can think of a creative and a positive way that we can make an impact in a community that doesn't get that type of light all the time. I encourage you to just think of different ways to make a difference in those communities, as you already have in the past, but how you can continue to do it in the future using the megaphone that we have here. And Chris, did you want to say something to that?
No, I didn't. I was popping back in. Sorry.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Chris. Okay. Hopefully that answered your question. I want to start to wrap because we're 3 minutes over our time. But and I'm going to hand it off to Alicia. I just want to say before I hand it off to her, thank you so much for everybody for showing up here. If you have any questions, I put a link to the application in the chat right now. It's open. It's ready to receive your information. I'm going to share it even more on social networks, and we're going to share it through our station platform as well. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me personally. C Randall, RANDALL @ksdk.com. You should all have my information already. If you don't, I will share it again. I will put my information in chat. Thank you so much. Alicia, final words.
Yeah, I can't really top anything that has already been discussed. I will just add one small little nugget, which is next year is our 75th year as a television station. We're the oldest St. Louis television station. We're the oldest television station in the state of Missouri. We are one of the 6 to 8 oldest television stations in the entire United States. What I will say is that this project has rooted us back into what our purpose is as a television station. It is not just to simply cover the news, but it is to make St. Louis the most enjoyable place to live for today, tomorrow, and future generations. And as grateful as many people have been on this call about the $10,000 foundation grant that they've been awarded, I just want to say on behalf of all of us at KSDK, we are incredibly grateful for the work that each and every single one of you are doing. And it is our privilege just to be a part of showcasing each one of these 501c3s in a broader light. It brings us so much joy. And again, the end result, the end goal is to make Project 5 a household name and a movement so that more people volunteer their time, more people help those in need in our own backyards. As a lifelong St. Louisan, it just brings me so much joy to hear all the great things that were said today. John Saunders, you continue to amaze me. We could have just ended the call after you spoke. I mean, we could have just done a mic drop, because what he shared is exactly what it is that we are trying to achieve. And thank you, Chris Randall, for bringing this movement to our station. And I am so excited for what the future holds. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for everything that you do. Chris, thanks for putting all this together. Well done.
Thank you, everybody. And I will see everybody soon. Have a good one.
Bye. Thank you, Chris. Good night.
No problem. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you, everybody.